Yo, what's up, guys? It's Aiden Bolin here. So, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Um, I've been thinking about the deterministic nature of reality and how I see that what we consider free will is somewhat of an illusion, and that my views and understanding of the choices that we make are based on hard determinism, in which everything is planned in a sense. So it's not necessarily like there's a script. I do think there is a script, but it's more like you are the type of person that you are because of your upbringing. All the little things that happen to you that you may or may not have agreed to in pre-life existence or anything, if that exists. Um, I do think it exists, but that's besides the point. What I really came here to say was I don't think that anybody is truly capable of going against God's will. Now, to anybody religious, that sounds ludicrous, that sounds insane, but let me explain. When you embark on this life, you are given a set of events, you are given a biological code, and you navigate this through what people think is free will, but it's not. You navigate this life through the illusion of free will and the illusion of making decisions, when in all reality, you yourself have never made a decision without being influenced by your upbringing and your biological code. So every single breath that you've taken has led to this very moment, and whatever's going to happen in the future was going to happen anyways. So worrying about the future is futile. But that being said, worrying about the future is also, a part of the plan. And while I do think being a good person is important, it's very important to me and, the people around me, and I want my kids to be good people as well. The evil people that exist in our world were meant to be evil. They are essentially, the best way I can understand is that they're a catalyst for growth. And they help the other people, wherever they exist on the spectrum of good and evil, all illusions. But regardless, wherever they fall on that spectrum, these evil people, they help those people with their journey, with whatever they got going on, and it extends even further when they help that person helps another person. We all embark on this journey to experience, not necessarily build. Building might be something you get to experience, but keep in mind that everything that you do was orchestrated in a manner to get you to the place that you were truly meant to be, for better or worse. Not everybody gets to live a good life, unfortunately, and that's okay. By far, every bad decision that I've made has led me, somewhere where I would prefer to be, at least from, my limited scope. But yeah, every like I like my life now. I have a beautiful fiance and two wonderful children. And if I hadn't made any of the terrible decisions I've made in the past, my life would probably be very different. You know, we talk about the butterfly effect, and you know, it's a common trope that if you go back in the past and try to quote unquote fix it, you might actually end up in a worse position than when you started. And another cool thing I always think about, well, before I say this, I'm not trying to sound like I know anything about the afterlife or, you know, what's outside of this existence, but I do think that our soul desires the struggle, while our human mind is very much motivated by feeling pleasure and avoiding pain. I think our soul wants to experience the pain. And you know, if things truly are, you know, up to us before we decide to embark on our life, as in like we essentially decide the events that happen during this life and create the experience beforehand. Um, why would we create the struggle if, you know, we didn't want to experience it? It wouldn't make much sense to me unless there was some incentive, which, you know, I do think there is. But I guess it becomes a bit hard to understand what the point of reality is if, you know, free will doesn't exist and you're going to end up where you're at anyways. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's more like watching a movie than doing anything interactive, so I guess what's the point? But, and like, I have this perception that our soul is somewhat omnipotent, that like maybe we're not God, but we're, you know, cut from the same cloth. So that really begs a question as to like why life is even considered a learning experience, or, you know, like what if this is just for our like pure enjoyment? And then another thing that people like to throw around is like, oh, what if life on Earth is like what if Earth is the actual hell, right? And like reincarnating is basically your punishment for not, I don't know, like doing the things you were supposed to do. I don't know. Like I've bought into that before, but it really seems as if there's more freedom to it. And I'm going to be honest, like the main place where I get most of these insights or, you know, opinions is from you know, plant medicines and stuff. I don't want to say the normal word that people use just because, you know, YouTube doesn't like it so much, but you know, I think these things do give a little bit of insight into what the purpose of reality is, the nature of reality, and kind of shines light on some of the illusions that we believe, right? Another thing is I don't really think that reality is objective. Like, for example, like you, like your eyes, you know, the reason you can see is because your eyes, your retina takes in light, refracting off of, you know, material, and your brain basically deciphers what, you know, your retina's taking in. Like the colors you see are you're basically making it all up. You're making up everything that you see. So how can reality be truly objective if every single person is liable to be experiencing it completely different? Because you can't prove to me that if we were to, like look at the sky and I were to say it's blue, you can't prove to me that the blue that you see is the same blue that I see. There's absolutely zero way of proving that. So how can we say that we're actually seeing the same color? How can we say that blue is objectively blue? Now, with that example, obviously, if you see blue and they also call it blue, whether, the color looks different to the both of you, you at least have enough distinction between all the other colors to agree that the color you're both seeing is blue. But it goes into the thing of like, reality isn't objective, it's subjective. You experience it based off of the way that your brain computes it. And also, not everybody completely agrees on what's moral or immoral. Like the entirety of humanity, each individual person has a completely different language of understanding things. Like the word, even a word as simple as the, two different people could very possibly understand that word differently and use it in their own mind differently. Even if functionally it's the same, they might have a different signature for that type of word. Or, the word and, just simple things like this. Each person has a subjective view of it, even if it's very slight, even if it's very slightly different from yours. It gets more interesting when it's more complex ideas, like, is it moral for, say, a man who's like in his 40s to date somebody in their 20s? Like, a lot of people have different opinions on this because they see reality differently and they understand things differently. So to say that there's just this black and white picture to how everything works, it just seems a little bit ignorant to me. And I don't think it's very productive when you're trying to get your point across. Like, we could keep going with that example. Like, maybe it depends, right? Like, maybe the person in their 20s is quite mature and they're not very mentally stimulated by younger guys or something, so they want to date an older man. And the older man, like, maybe his intentions aren't pure and he just wants somebody young because he wants somebody young, not necessarily because he finds this person mentally mature. You could argue that these two people shouldn't be together because one doesn't have the best interests of the other person in mind. You could argue that it doesn't matter at all and it's none of your business and fuck off. But, everybody else has their way of understanding things and their subjective view of reality. So I think arguing about these things is futile. Like, I don't know. See, like when it comes to me, I don't understand where to draw the line to things. Or like, I'm the type of person that wants to give other people freedom. I'm the type of person that wants people to have their autonomy. I don't want to interfere with other people's lives. I don't want to make decisions for other people. But what if somebody's really harming somebody else? And what if me, you know, not interfering makes me look like a bad person? Because I do care about that. I don't want to seem like a bad person. I don't want to seem like I'm sanctioning behavior that isn't aligned with the status quo, or, you know, because we all, let's just be honest, bro. We all sometimes virtue signal. We all sometimes want to fit in with the crowd, right? And even if we don't think something's all that bad, we'll say it is just because we don't want to be ostracized. I think the main point of this video is that the trying, you know, the forcing yourself to be different is just a waste of time, a waste of mental energy. I genuinely think that anyone watching this video should just take in this message and stop trying so hard to be different, right? And that even goes into stop trying to not try. Like literally just relax and just let things take its course, right? Because wherever you're going is where you're supposed to go. And it sounds like a fucked up thing for me to say that, because there are some bad people that might listen to this, you know, and I'm telling them that, hey, wherever you're going, that's where you're supposed to go. But me saying anything different wouldn't have changed that anyway. So why care? I think, you know, anybody who's even concerned with this message in the first place, they have good intentions. And, you know, if you slip up, like, just learn from it, man. Like take in the information as it comes to you. Like, there's no need to try and suppress things, or, you know, try and look fucking dominant in a social situation, or fucking not sit with your legs crossed. You know what I mean? Like, just this stupid bullshit that everybody tells you that you got to do. I think it's ridiculous, and everybody just needs to stop trying so fucking hard, and stop being scared to be a fucking tryhard. Like, literally, this is the most paradoxical shit I could say, but, like, I don't know. Maybe it'll click with some of you guys, but yeah, I don't think it's clicked with me yet. But anyways, I hope this message helps you guys. I hope, you know, this gives you a little bit of mental freedom, a little bit of creative freedom, and some space to just live your life, man. Like, I think that's what this is really about. I think you just need to experience it, learn through it, and stop being so scared of shit. Right, anyways, I love you guys. Have a good night. Peace.